Good morning, everyone. It's Robert from On My Turntable. Hope you're having a great morning this morning. Sunday morning. It's a coffee kind of morning. Yes, I do wash the mug. Um, I want to continue my Albums to Discover series through Discog Shuffle. Loving that series. It's been a while since I've done it, but today the shuffle came up, or last time, sorry, the shuffle came up with this album here, Supertramp, Crisis, What Crisis. Love this album. Love this album. Before we get into everything, please hit the like and subscribe button below. Thank you to all that have liked and subscribed so far. You guys are amazing. I want to continue to put great content out there to be informative and to show you guys some great bands and artists that I have in my collection. And it's all because of you guys subscribing, liking, leaving great comments. I try to respond to all those comments, and it's fantastic. So thank you. Thank you very much for your support. Um, so yeah, Supertramp. Amazing band, one of my favorite bands. English progressive rock band from England, formed in 1970. Includes the amazing writing duo of Roger Hodgson and Rick Davies. Roger Hodgson, lead vocals, keyboards, guitar. Amazing writer in his own right. Rick Davies, lead vocals, amazing keyboardist as well. And the two different writing styles, different singing styles, but they seem to gel. And amazing stuff. I read somewhere that they write separately, but in some ways all their writing comes together, and it's just amazing. Um, just like other bands, they've gone through a ton of lineup changes. Rick Davies ends up being the only one surviving member of the band before the band ended. Their best years probably around 1970 to 88, and releasing some amazing albums in that time period. Um, they reinvented themselves after Roger Hodgson left in 83, and Rick Davies became the primary lead vocalist and songwriter, and that lasted till about 88. And then there's been some reinvented versions of the band over time, and it lasted till about 2015. But their best years were those 18 years between 70 and 88 that produced back-to-back wonderful, wonderful albums. And amazing combination of rock, progressive rock, pop rock. Yeah, and in that time period, they've sold about 60 million albums worldwide. Popular all over the world, but the highest sales, believe it or not, were in Canada, which is pretty cool. They've had two 10 times platinum albums, two #1 singles in The Logical Song and Dreamer. One of my favorite bands. Always has been. Crime of the Century was my introduction to them, and I still love this album today. It still stands up as a great, great album of the 70s. So, so good. So, the album we're going to talk about to discover, Crisis, What Crisis. Love that cover as well. Really, really good album. Fourth studio album by the band, released in 1975. Their first album to be partially recorded in the U.S. So they, between U.S. and London, they recorded the album. It came out after the success of Crime of the Century, so it's been highly underrated because everyone compares it to Crime of the Century. Crime of the Century, more of a concept album. This one's just full of great songs, so it's hard to compare the two, but it was released in the shadows of Crime, so it doesn't always get its due that it deserves. They needed a follow-up album after Crime of the Century, and they were touring with Crime of the Century, and then Roger Hodgson injured his hand, So they felt they had lots of time to put an album together, but with the strains of the record company and everything else, turns out they didn't have all that much time. Didn't have a lot of songs put together for this album, just some leftovers from Crime. And they eventually worked out about 4 songs, which they um, practiced and recorded live, or performed live, sorry, before they actually recorded the songs. Sister Moonshine, Another Man's Woman, which I love, um, Lady, and Just a Normal Day. They performed these songs live at the Hammersmith Odeon in 1975. Then they ended up recording them, putting on the album. As I said earlier, the band felt rushed putting this one together, and Roger Hodgson wasn't very happy with the album itself. But over time, and around the mid '80s, he was interviewed for something, and he called "Crisis What Crisis" one of his favorite Supertramp albums. So it grew on him, I guess. Also features the fantastic, amazing keyboardist um, Rick Davies. His vocal style is amazing. Um, he's a great piano player, just wonderful piano player. Also vocals by both Davies and Hodgson, and great sax works by John Halliwell. Um, as I said, underrated album because it came out in the shadows of Crime. But where Crime was a concept album, this one's just, again, full of great songs. Um, it's really enjoyable. I really like it. It's got great songs on it. Easy Does It, Sister Moonshine, of course, big hit for them. Ain't Nobody But Me. All these tracks are cool. They got great licks and hooks. A Soapbox Hero, Another Man's Woman, Lady, Poor By, Just Another Day, The Meaning, and Two of Us. Definitely an album to discover. It is a really good album. So as I mentioned earlier, hard to believe that this was their 3rd album, Crime of the Century. I mean, this is the opus. This is, I wouldn't say it's the peak, but it's pretty darn near their peak. But has remained, it's been my introduction to the band, has remained my favorite album by them, even though I do love all their other albums. And Breakfast is a pretty close second to this one, but this is an amazing album. You got the opening of School, remarkable track. The hard-edged, and probably one of the most hardest songs and heaviest songs, Bloody Well Right, amazing track. And Dreamer, of course, the big hit Dreamer. Awesome album. Awesome stuff. The only CD that I have by them, Even in the Quietest Moments. Remarkable stuff. This is the 5th album by the band. Big hit, Give a Little Bit, and Baba G. It's just remarkable. You got Give a Little Bit, Loverboy, Even in the Quietest Moments, Downstream, Baba G, From Now On, and Fool's Overture. Amazing stuff. Probably the most commercially successful album, The Great Breakfast in America. This just put them over the top, made them superstars. 4 huge hits off of this one. 6th album by the band, released in 79. Sorry. You got The Logical Song. You got Goodbye Stranger, Take the Long Way Home, and Breakfast in America. I mean, it's just remarkable. Wonderful song. Or wonderful album, sorry, with amazing songs. Famous Last Words. Another great album. 1982 release. 7th album by the band. It was their follow-up to Breakfast. A lot of big shoes to fill on that one. Also, the last to feature Roger Hodgson. He was leaving the band. Also, the last to feature their classic lineup from their previous albums. It's Raining Again was a minor hit on this one, but I really enjoy this album. It's a good album. And the only other album I have by them is Brother, Were You Bound? This is the 8th studio album by Supertramp, released in '85. Their first to feature the primary singing and writing of Rick Davies, as Roger Hodgson had left previously. Cannonball is a big hit off of that one. And it's actually a pretty fine album. I really enjoy it. Rick Davies stepped up, did a great job on it, and really enjoyable. So check out Supertramp if you don't know them. If you just know their hits, that's cool. But they've got so many great deep tracks. It's amazing. Definitely an album to discover in Crisis What Crisis. And yeah, so good. So that's it. Let's see what's on the next albums to discover. I'll just go to my list. Whoop. Wrong note. There we go. So nothing showing. I'll go up here to random item. Now if I choose something that I've already spoken about, I'll choose another. So what we got here? I'm going to choose another, as I just talked about this one. So let's see what we got here. There we go. Sabbath's first album. Give Sabbath a listen after a while. So there's the next album to discover. Black Sabbath's debut album. An amazing debut. And that's it, guys. Hope you have a wonderful day. Weekends always, when I have my weekends off, it always goes by too fast. So I'm going to try and make the most of the day. But I may be back a little later on with another video. In the meantime, thank you so much for all your wonderful comments, your likes, your subscriptions. You guys are amazing. Love you all. Take care. Bye now.